Hey there, this is Christian. You are watching and/or listening to High on the Holy Spirit. This episode is going to be on finances. And so it's something that I've been passionate about in my life. And I've been helping a couple and another gentleman friend of mine and some other people over the course of time with what I learned in high school and college. And so I'm here to offer some quick advice to you of what has helped me in my life when it comes to money. So I will see you on the other side of this intro. Money. Money is something that is so stressful, and it affects like every aspect of our life. And we want money to cover our needs and then to be able to hopefully have some to cover our wants and our stuff that we don't necessarily need, but they make us happy. Eating out, buying nice clothes, getting the car you like, being able to do events, experiences, all that stuff. Those would be great, right? Well, in high school and college, high school back when stuff was on VHS, I took Dave Ramsey's class. And then my last semester of college, I took it again myself to be ready for, paychecks once I hit my career. And that is one of the most beneficial things I've ever done. And I'm so grateful to it. So the classes I did were Financial Pace. That was a program that has been put together by Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey leads a lot of people through financial difficulties and trying to get them on game with finances through biblical basis ways of using money. He has the 7 baby steps, which I'll run through real quick and then I'll elaborate on. The first baby step is as quick as possible to get $1,000 into the bank as a baby emergency fund for emergencies only. Second is to pay off your debts, smallest to largest. Third is to fully fund an emergency fund with 3 to 6 months expenses, and then do 4, 5, 6 together if it applies. Number 4 is to invest 15% of your take-home pay in whatever investment. I'll elaborate a little more later. 5 is to save money towards your children's college, or however you want to do that money to provide for them for continuing education. 6 is to pay off your home early. And 7 is to build wealth and give. So going back to the beginning, the emergency fund. So emergency fund, the things he goes over that I benefited the most is the emergency fund. I've never been in debt. Self-inflicted debt. I've had health issues. And so it wasn't like I chose to get into debt with that. But I've never had a car payment. I've never had a student loan. I've never had a credit card. So his idea and his attitude towards debt has helped me a lot. And like I said, the emergency fund has been very critical towards maintaining financial peace, and his zero-based budgeting has also been very pivotal in my financial journey. So baby emergency fund, as soon as you can, get $1,000 in a separate account that is for emergencies only. Emergencies are emergencies. They're not get some more furniture, not buy a bass boat, not buy new shoes, not, things that are not necessary to survive are non-emergencies. Food, clothing, shelter, and transportation, those fall under emergency. Clothing is only if you don't have a coat and it's freezing cold, that's an emergency. If you have 0 shoes, that's an emergency. But I don't think I really have to elaborate on that. I think you get it. So paying off your debts smallest to largest using the debt snowball. And that method, a lot of people can look at that and say, well, mathematically, it would make more sense to pay off the highest interest rate first. That is true. Mathematically, that would make more sense. However, that doesn't matter. Most people do not pay off their debts at all. They just like slide as they're going with minimum payments, and they just let them sit there. Their student loans, all that stuff, car payments, whatever, they just let it slide and they don't attack it at all. So the reason smallest to largest is because it's a psychological thing that when you start being able to check off your list, 1, 2, 3, 4 payments or debts, you're going to get, it's an interior motivation. Like you're actually watching things disappear that you've owed on. And the reason it's called a debt snowball is because say you have 10 debts, you're going to attack number 10 and the rest of them while you're attacking that first smallest debt. These you're going to be paying, these top ones, you're going to be paying the minimum amount on, and you're going to be throwing as much as you can do at this bottom one. Say it's $100. And you could throw maybe $50 extra at it and you get it paid off. What you're going to do is you're going to take the $50 you paid towards that bottom one, and then you're going to add it to the minimum payment of number 9. So say number 9 is a $200 loan, and I'm just trying to do this mathematically to make it easy. And the minimum payment was $25. Now you're going to have $50 and you're going to add that $25 on top of it. So you're going to put $75 towards now number 9 on that list. And then once that's paid off, you've hit it, you go to your next line item. Say the minimum, just for financial like math easy, that one is 25 as well. So you just add that 25 to the 75 from the last 2 items, and now you have 100. And so you're going to attack number 8 with $100. All right, you've paid 8 off. Now you're at 7. 7's minimum is 25 as well. So now you have 125 you're paying towards that number 7. And then as I think you can get it, when you get to number 6, it's 25. All right, now you got 150 you're throwing at number 6. And then so far it goes all the way to the top. And so technically this entire time you've been paying off your debt, you're spending the exact same amount of money a month because you're literally taking what you had towards the last debt and putting it towards that next debt. And so hopefully sooner rather than later, you pay it off. The Dave Ramsey way, he talks about beans and rice, cutting everything out that is not necessary and going after this debt to get rid of it as soon as possible. Like as soon as possible, like crazy possible. Beans and rice and beans. That's what he talks about. The third baby step is 3 to 6 months of expenses. And I would say this is, I haven't been in debt. I know that's stressful for a lot of people, but having not been in debt, getting 3 to 6 months of expenses into the savings account is so key to having financial peace. Because as Dave talks about, when you have an emergency, not only is the event stressful and the emergency just, stressful, the event stressful, it turns into a financial emergency that just, duplicates the stress. So having money set aside for emergencies is great. If you lose your job, you've got some money as backup. If you destroy your car, you have money enough to hopefully just get yourself a little car to go around town in until you maybe get money to go to the next thing. And then investing in, he suggests investing as far, if you have a company that you're working for that has 401k that matches, he suggests matching and then going on to, I believe it was a Roth IRA or a couple different things. It's not something I didn't get to that baby step, but we'll pass that up. I also don't have kids, so I didn't get to that one, and I don't have a house. But the things that I don't have, I don't have a credit score, and a lot of people trip over that. I'm almost 40 and I don't have a credit score, and I've been able to live my life. Everybody thinks you have to have a credit score to survive. It's not true. A lot of people, I was engaged, and he was saying how we need a credit score if we wanted to get a house. And actually, that's not true. There are some mortgage companies, not all, that do what is called manual underwriting, where they look at how you have stayed on time with your payments, if you're paying rent, utilities, your phone, whatnot. They look at the history of your payments and see that you've been paying all of those on time, and they will do what's called manual underwriting, and you can get a mortgage. Okay, so if you're, through that, you've paid off your home. Basically, the point to get to number 7 is you have no payments, okay? You have 0 payments. And what you're doing is basically, number 7 is build wealth and give. He's very big on giving, and it's not like he says, once you get to 7, start giving. If you look at his budget, the way he has his budget is what's called a zero-based budget, so giving every dollar a name before the month begins. The first line on his budget is tithing, to give to God. And he says to put that first because if you don't, it'll go to last, and then it'll drop off your budget because you'll have no money left. So first pay God, then yourself. So you're going to be paying God, yourself, which is putting money into savings, and then everything flows after that. He talks about your 4 walls, which is food, transportation, clothing, and obviously where you live. Those are the most important things to cover. He's against credit cards. Like I said, he's against having debt. And I know there's people out there. My ex-fiance was really good about paying off his credit cards monthly. And I know other people who are as well. However, that's not why credit card companies aren't in business, is because of you. In fact, they are not in business really because of you at all. And I heard the other day, and I just looked it up before I did this to check, our country, America, is $1.2 trillion. They have $1.2 trillion. I'm saying $1 trillion, not billion, $1 trillion in credit card debt. That's insane. When I heard that, I was like, I honestly couldn't believe it. And I had to look it up again because I thought, no, it's got to be a billion. 1.2 trillion. That's 1,000 billion. 1,000 billion, right? That's like a million. Isn't it like a million? Am I doing my math correct? That's a lot of money. And so that's where the credit card companies, that's why they're in existence, is for the people who pay money they don't have or spend money they don't have. And that's a principle I've lived my life. I don't spend money I don't have. And I mean, I've banked on money that I should have. Like when I moved to Nashville years ago, I moved there Thursday. I banked on starting Monday in my job to get paid 2 weeks from then. And at that point, I didn't have enough money in my savings because I had just, I had a contract expire and I had money saved. And then I just was not able to fill that back up until I got the next job. But I was banking on 2 months from 2 weeks rather, from moving there to get a paycheck. However, my background check got stuck in the TBI and I didn't get to start work until 2 weeks after I moved there. So that was 4 weeks, a month. So rent was due. And I had just spent money on, the down, whatever that thing is. You have to put it right when you first get your apartment, whatnot. I got down to $50 in my bank account and I almost puked because I had never had that little, because I've been pretty smart with money. And my mom, I'm on the phone with my mom and she goes, "Have you been praying the litany of humility again?" And I was just like, shut up. Because I had, and that's a story for another day. I literally went on my playlists, I had on my playlists, Every Little Prison by Matt Maurer, which is based on the litany of humility, and I Shall Not Want by Audrey Assad, that's based on the litany of humility, because I want to be a saint, and saints are humble. But yeah, that was hard, but that's a whole nother episode on humility. Anyways, it was stressful. That was really stressful living. I almost sold everything. I almost sold my furniture. I sold everything I owned worth more than $5. Like I was stressed out. And but anyways, yeah. So having an emergency fund and not banking on a bonus, not banking on some paycheck or tax refund, and spending that money before you have it, that'll cause chaos or whatever. I've seen lots of people do it, but like I said, the biggest things for me are that I've taken from him is the not being in debt, not having payments, having an emergency fund, and budgeting. As far as cars, I've always paid for all my cars in cash. I've never had a really fancy car. I do have my dream car now, which is a Honda Fit. I wanted it. It was my dream car in college, and it's actually the year. One of the years, I think it was the last year I was in college, is the year that the model, make and model, that specific one I have. But I got it for $4,400 in cash, and but it's great. I love it. But also, there's just so much more he talks about. You can use those dollars that would be going to like a car. And right now, the average car payment, like back in the day when I took his classes, it was $300. Now a new car is like $750, and a used one is $550, which to me is just insane because I've never had one. And I'm just, to myself, I'm like, man, how much you could do with $500, a month. And if you search Ben and Arthur Invests, and you look at this chart on investing, I'm talking about like how much more you can do with that much money, which would be insanely more than even this chart is. It's on compound interest and the effect of just starting early and your money rolling over. You can also, I'd suggest actually more going on YouTube and searching Ben and Arthur Dave Ramsey. I showed that to a couple I'm helping set up their finances. Financially would be me giving them money. But helping them with their budget and stuff like that. But anyways, if you do want a good car, one of the things he suggested, and I've never done it, I've been happy with the cars I've had, and I keep money in savings, and I typically get to the point where I might sell a car and then get something else, depending on my need. Like I have the Honda Fit. Prior to that, I had an SUV, but I wanted to downsize. I liked the SUV. I had a Toyota Highlander, but I drove around a lot, and I have my own business where I drive a lot, and I'd rather have less of a gas guzzler, and I get almost $10 more miles per gallon, and 10 more miles per gallon, rather. So, but one of the things he suggests doing is we've got these car payments, like I just said, where you've got, let's just go to the small one, $500 a month, and just do it straight at $500. Instead of spending $500 a month on another car, real quick for new cars, they lose thousands of dollars just driving off the lot. Like say you go get a new car, you buy it for whatever amount of money, and you want to sell it at the end of the day for some weird reason. It's literally lost thousands of dollars just because you drove it off the lot. I don't think even if I had the money, I'd ever really, I don't know if I would buy a brand new car just because of that. But say you don't want to drive a jalopy around. If you had money for that car payment, go get yourself whatever, or just drive what you have, or get like a $3,000 Toyota Corolla Camry, Honda Accord Civic, great cars, and drive that. And then for 10 months, save $500 a month. Instead of putting it into a car, save it. Cars are not investments. Cars depreciate in value so quickly. So save it for 10 months. Now you got $5,000. Sell your $3,000 car. You have $8,000. Get yourself an $8,000. Then save $500 for another 10 months. Now you've got $5,000. So $500 over 10 months, $5,000. So now you've got $13,000. And just keep doing that, and you can upgrade your car, upgrade your car, upgrade your car. And I've sold my cars, and I actually get hired by people to sell their cars because I'm a salesperson and I'm good at negotiating. But anyways, yeah, financially, if you want a lot of other really good advice, I'd advise you to go to Dave Ramsey's site. You can do daveramsey.com and it'll like reroute you to Ramsey Solution, I think it is now. But he's got a lot of good advice there. Like I said, it is biblically based, and it's just smart ways of handling money. And he has a radio show, which is really good. It's just good to listen to because it's like almost like counseling for people. It's also inspiring if you do have debt. I mean, it's inspiring to me, who's never really had debt, to hear these people call in and just give their debt-free scream and talk about how they, were able to pay off whatever they were able to pay off and how they were able to, live financially. And I did meet Dave Ramsey, I don't know when it was, like 10, 11 years ago. And that was really cool. I'm not a fangirl, but I was like, I think the only celebrities I'd be really excited to meet was him. That was really exciting. And Dolly Parton. That would be really cool to meet Dolly Parton. But anyways, I think that is it. Yeah. So financially, like I said, the biggest things, savings, not spending money I don't have. So not going into debt and having lots of payments, and having an emergency fund, rainy day, something happens, your car breaks down, not having a financial emergency when something else happens has just been so important and helpful to me. So, daveramsey.com. You can watch his shows on YouTube or his website. A lot of good content. He's got really good talents, or experts, I think he calls them now. His daughter's there to help now, and then he's got a counselor that's associated with it. I can't think of his name. But he's got really, really good people, and just really good Christian guy who's out there helping people really to get out of financial bondage. So anyways, I thought I'd just get on here and talk about that because it is something that I've always been really passionate about, and I've coordinated his class, I've taught his classes, and to give you a realization of how like passionate you have to be to teach his classes is I had to pay $250 to get the stuff to teach his classes. I didn't get paid by the people who were in there. I actually had to pay to help other people. And being in financial peace is one of the biggest categories of peace that we're going to experience in our lives. So hopefully some of this helped you. Like I said, if you want more information, just look him up. And if you see me and you have questions, I'd be more than happy to help. All right. God bless you guys. Jesus loves you as always, and so do I.